Jesus, Lil Monk, why can't you seem to sit still? Sophie asked from the passenger seat of Lil Monk's Bonneville. Because I'm uncomfortable. Lil Monk rolled his broad shoulders beneath the blazer he was wearing, trying his best to tear the seams and give himself a bit more room. He hadn't worn a suit since 6th grade graduation, and even then he hated them. Because it's a suit jacket and not a dope boy leather, and should be worn according to your actual size, not be falling off you, Sophie told him. Stop complaining, Lil Monk. You're only going to have to wear it for a few hours. Yeah, but those few hours are going to feel like a lifetime considering the circumstances, Lil Monk said. Suddenly, they were both reminded of where they were going and why they were going there, and the mood darkened. A few minutes later, they were pulling up at their destination, Unity Funeral Home. The minute Lil Monk crossed 126th Street and 8th Avenue, he felt the ball of ice forming in his gut. It was the same feeling he got whenever he was within spitting distance of a funeral home. It was odd to him that he could murder people out in the streets without losing sleep over it. But being around them laid out properly gave him the creeps. His mother's was the first and last funeral he had ever attended. He could remember as if it were yesterday, seeing her stretched out in that satin-lined box like she was only sleeping. They had done an excellent job with her makeup, except for the raised patch of skin on her forehead that appeared slightly darker than the rest of her face. Gunshot wounds to the head were slightly harder to cover than most causes of death. At the urging of his father, Monk, he'd approached the casket to pay his final respects. When he touched her hand, it felt different. It wasn't the same hand that had held his while walking him to the bus stop for school, or the hand that stroked his face and told him he was handsome when he would come home crying over the mean kids in school calling him ugly. What he held was a room-temperature shell that had once housed his mother's spirit. From then on, Lil Monk refused to attend another funeral, even for someone he loved. Yet that day, he found himself going back on his word for someone he barely even liked.